I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah. Should I go straight to the knee conversation? I guess that's saves everyone the time for the question. Well, you know, when that happened in fourth round of Roland Garros, and I made a very quick decision to make surgery, I was, you know, very much in doubt of making Wimbledon. But then after extensive conversations with certain athletes that have been through very similar situations, like Taylor Fritz, for example, that has been through something pretty much the same like I have. 3 years ago, I think he injured himself also in Roland Garros, and he said that 21 days after he played his first round in Wimbledon, Wawrinka, Lindsey Vonn, they all shared, you know, their experiences, and really, you know, that gave me faith and optimism that, you know, if rehab is done right and correct, and if, of course, knee responds well, which is something that is very unpredictable, then there is a pretty good chance that I'll make Wimbledon. So I arrived here on Sunday. It's been a week of training, a very good week of training. I had, particularly the last 3 days, very intense tennis sessions. I had points, practice sets played with Sinner, with Francis Tiafoe, with Medvedev yesterday, and Emil Ruswari, actually double session, and then today with Rune as well. So really top players. They are playing great tennis on grass, high intensity, lots of, I guess, situations on the court where the knees tested to almost the maximum, change of directions and so forth. So the knee has responded very well to all of that so far, which of course then is a great sign for my participation in Wimbledon. So that's why I decided to be in the draw, and I still have a couple of days time. I play on Tuesday, so I'm confident about my health of my knee, and just general physical state is really good. Obviously, once the tournament starts, I'll have more, I guess, sensations and more feedback from how knee reacts to a best of 5 Grand Slam match. But so far, everything that was done was very positive.
Matt?
I know that. So I totally understand that, you know, that you physically are able to go on the court, but I was just curious, like, mentally, I mean, you've played, I don't know, 80 or 100 of these Grand Slams before. You're going to play a bunch more, probably, assuming you're healthy enough. I would imagine you're going to be healthier in a week than you are, or in 2 weeks if you had started later. Can you explain, like, why it was so important for you to come back so quickly, given that, you know, there's an Olympic Games coming up. There's another tournament where you're the defending champion coming up. I mean, there's other opportunities, and there's a risk, right?
It's a very fair question that I don't know the answer to, and I do know the answer to be honest. My wife also kind of asked the same question, right? I mean, which is normal. I mean, why would you, you know, 37 years old, you know, you want to maybe have less risk and prepare yourself for Olympic Games. And so from that perspective, I don't have an answer to that, but I do have something that is described as a feeling of not missing out at a Grand Slam while I can still play, and while I can, you know, while I'm still active and at this level. It's just, I wouldn't call it a fear of missing out. I would just say it's this incredible desire to play, just to compete. And particularly because it is Wimbledon, the tournament that always has been a dream tournament for me when I was a kid. I always dreamed of playing Wimbledon, and just the thought of me missing Wimbledon was just not correct. I didn't want to deal with that. And I wanted to give myself, again, also, I think because I've been through this particular, or I'm going through this particular knee injury for the first time in my life, I also wanted to see how fast can I really recover, and can I really be in a condition to compete best of 5 on grass with best players in the world. And as I said a few days ago, I didn't come here to play a few rounds and prove to myself and others that I can actually compete in 1 or 2 matches. I really want to go for the title. And so the last 3 days have given me enough optimism and good signs that I can actually be in a state to compete on the highest level for the next few weeks, hopefully. So I guess that's in a nutshell really how I can explain. It's more of it's probably less of a rational and logical explanation, but more of that, you know, inner feeling and sensation of really the great desire to play Wimbledon, any Grand Slam, but particularly Wimbledon for me. So I know that Olympics are right after that on a completely different surface, and I know all of that, but I'm thinking about Wimbledon. You know, it's a dream tournament, so I needed to focus all my attention to that, and we put a huge amount of hours in the last 3 weeks on a daily basis into rehab, into exercises, and basically raising the level of intensity of training and rehab every single day. Of course, being very cautious of the knee and the reactions, but I haven't had any setback. So if I had one setback, I would be then questioning whether I should be here or not, but I haven't had a single one. So, you know, why not give it a shot?
Stuart?
Novak, I don't know how much you know about the exact plans, but Wimbledon are hoping to expand across the road into the old golf club. You're someone who's played in tour for like 20 years, you see the other Grand Slam facilities. Do you think Wimbledon needs to expand, or is it fine as it is?
Yes, I have been informed about that. Also, last year and this year I had a couple of conversations with people from the All England Tennis Club and organization of Wimbledon, and because I was curious to understand how that's progressing. I think it's a very good project. You know, it is a project of expansion of, you know, arguably the most important tennis tournament in the world, in the history of the sport. We know that Roehampton holds qualifications for many years, so I'm really glad that, you know, if that would happen, then you would move qualies here, and then they would connect the 2 plots or existing facilities with the new land, which would, I think, increase experience, or, you know, create an experience that is better for fans and also for players. In the practice week, we are at Orangi, and fans normally don't have access to see our practice sessions, so that would change. And I think most important one is that, if I'm not mistaken, it was a private golf club, and big part of the land will be turned into a public park, so that, you know, people from the community, from this area will have access to the park, and it will be public. It will be open for everyone. So, you know, those are all thumbs up, great signs for me. And of course, as a tennis player, I would love to see that happen. But, you know, I think the decision is coming a week after Wimbledon, so we'll just have to wait and see.
David?
Hi there, Novak. I just want to, in regards to your knee and the practices you've had, do you anticipate in the first couple of rounds maybe needing to be a little more cautious than you ordinarily would be?
Not necessarily, really. I once I step out on the court, it's all about winning that match and doing everything I possibly can. It's my power to win the match. So I don't see myself holding back. I don't see myself calculating or being a bit more cautious in the movement. I don't see that happening. I go all in. I go full out. I mean, that's the way I've been doing. That's the way I've been playing my entire career. So if I don't have the feeling that I can do that on Tuesday, I wouldn't be speaking to you guys today. I wouldn't be in the draw, that's for sure. So I really, all the days that I've spent here give me only positive signs. and encouraged me to really think that, you know, not just think, but feel that I can do it. Yeah.
Hi, Noli. Alcaraz has just said that he told you that you are a superhuman because of the way that you have recovered. Do you see yourself as a superhuman?
No, not really. I think Taylor Fritz is a superhuman. He recovered in 21 days. I have a bit more. If we talk about that, no. I mean, look, the fact that there's, you know, like Taylor, we mentioned him a couple of times, but you know, his situation really gave me optimism that I can, you know, I can make it too. So knowing that there was someone who is a tennis player and plays on such a high level already succeeded, you know, in such a short amount of time to be on the court and compete, you know, it just made me a bit more relaxed, I guess, you know, and a bit more confident in my whole process and journey of rehabilitation. So, yeah, I mean, 3 weeks is just making the cut, so to say, you know, it's not ideal, maybe, you know, in the eyes of the doctors and specialists that would normally tell you it's normally between 3 and 6 weeks, and the closer to 6 weeks, the better, probably, because you want to not risk too much and give your knee and your body time. But it's also individual. It's very subjective, you know. Everyone has a different response to the recovery, to the injury, to rehab, to exercises. And as I mentioned in my last answer, I didn't have a setback. If I had a day where my knee just flares up and I have swelling and inflammation, then of course I would be slowing down, and then my whole Wimbledon this year's participation would be in doubt. But that didn't happen, and it's not happening, and my intensity is very high now. You know, I played 2 sets, hour and a half with Medvedev, and then an hour with Ruswari, points. So I played like 3.5 sets yesterday, and another set and a half today. So the knee is fine. You know, knee didn't react in a negative way, so that's good.
The fight.